Hi, this is Joel Montfort with Montfort Political Consulting. I'm going to talk today about the Texas legislative um, branch, and specifically the House of Representatives. The Texas legislature consists of two different branches. It's bicameral. You got the Senate and you got the House of Representatives. In Texas, the House of Representatives is made from 150 members. That's a constant number. Currently, that leaves roughly 170,000 citizens under each House district. That number continues to get bigger every 10 years after the census has been officially established, and they go in and redistrict and reset all the boundaries for each district. So those districts tend to wax and wane. Some get bigger, some get smaller, depending on the density of the population within that district as they try to equally distribute the population among all 150 House districts. So with the House, there are 150 seats, and of those, currently Republicans have roughly 83 of those seats to Democrats 67. There is expectations here, being that it's 2020 in November, that Democrats will have the opportunity to flip the Texas House for the first time since I believe around 2004 and gain control of the House. Um, all the representatives in the state go up for re-election every 2 years. So that is one of the more interesting things about all this is the House can literally be flipped overnight depending on the district and the district's change and how quickly things are changing. Here in Richardson, we've had one and go blue, District 102, and we're hopeful that 67 and 112 will also become Democrat. The Texas legislature members, after they're elected, one of the things that you find very interesting is the Texas legislature is basically a part-time deal. They meet every other year. It's biannually, basically. Um, and the legislative session, I think, typically starts in February and goes a few months. The legislature in Texas would not be considered what I would say professional. As a result, their pay is meager at best. They make $7,200 per year, plus there is a per diem of roughly $190 per day while they are in session. The total pay for a 2-year term is around $41,000. So that is, to me, one of the big issues with our legislature. Since they are not considered professional, you really do have to be able to have a flexible, well-paying job on the side that you can walk away from every other year for several months and possibly longer if there's special sessions during the summer or something, so that the legislature can get together and pass laws. Once our representatives are down in Austin, one of the first things they do is typically they start filing bills in the Texas House. Now you got to remember there's also the Texas Senate, and they do the same thing over there. They're just elected differently. There are less senators, of course, than there are representatives. So what one does is actually propose a bill on the floor. Typically, those bills are referred to committees. Committees are consisting of several of the legislatures, usually by seniority. There's usually a head of a committee and several members that more or less meet in a side room and discuss bills and make amendments or suggest amendments. They can also kill a bill in there, let it die, and that bill just ends up going nowhere, and that happens a lot. You've got to realize when you've got 150 members each with several of their own ideas, you got a lot of bills to try to pass in just a few months. So there's a lot of competition for ears and attention within those bills. But if a bill does in fact get recommended out of committee, it'll go to the floor, and then the floor will ideally vote on it, and assuming it passes, it then must go over to the Senate for them to evaluate it and pass it. Both sides actually have to pass a bill before it can make its way to our governor's desk to be signed into law. So there's a lot of working together that needs to happen for someone's idea to become a bill. And this is where you realize the machinery of government is intentionally slow and deliberative and collaborative. You can't have a wild cowboy in there thinking he's going to overturn everything from one position. That's just not the way things work. So this is by no means a detailed idea of how the Texas House works in the Texas legislature, but it'll give you just kind of a basic idea. I know a lot of people get very confused about this stuff and what goes on. The Texas House is basically modeled on the U.S. House, and Texas House representatives do very similar things to what happens in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I know that confuses a lot of people about exactly where they fit in the picture. But my plan here is to do a series on each chamber, the governor, some of the other posts that are in the Texas House, so people can just kind of listen and get an idea of what Texas government is all about. I may take it and roll into U.S. government at some point here. Anyway, my name is Joel Montfort with Montfort Political Consulting, and I hope this was helpful.